With over 1.5 billion downloads worldwide, TikTok has become one of the most popular apps in history. But behind the fun dances and viral trends, there's a growing fear. Is TikTok stealing your data? In 2024, TikTok CEO Xu Chu testified before Congress for more than 5 hours, defending the company against accusations that it poses a national security threat. Lawmakers weren't convinced. In fact, many U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, have called for a nationwide ban on the app. But here's where things get complicated. There is no public evidence that the Chinese government has ever accessed TikTok's user data. Security experts say the concerns are mostly theoretical, but still very real. So what exactly does TikTok collect? How does it compare to Facebook and Google? And should you be worried? If you've ever used TikTok, the amount of data it collects might shock you. Like most social media apps, TikTok gathers information about your location, browsing habits, device details, and even the keystrokes you type. But how much more does it track compared to apps like Facebook or Instagram? According to TikTok's privacy policy, the app collects your exact location, if you allow it, search and browsing history within the app, your messages, yes, even private DMS, your device information, including your phone model and operating system, biometric data such as face prints and voice prints in certain regions. A 2022 study by researchers at the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab found that TikTok's data collection practices are similar to Facebook and Google. However, there's one major difference. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is based in China, which has led to concerns about how this data is handled. Beyond just collecting user data, TikTok uses hidden tracking methods to monitor you across the web, even when you're not using the app. Cybersecurity research from Malwarebytes found that TikTok embeds tracking pixels on thousands of websites, allowing it to collect information about users even outside the app. Even more concerning, a 2022 study by software engineer Felix Krauss discovered that TikTok's in-app browser has keylogging capabilities, meaning it can track what you type, including passwords and credit card information. TikTok claims this feature is used only for debugging and performance monitoring. But the fact remains, your keystrokes are being monitored. Many people assume TikTok is uniquely invasive, but apps like Facebook, Instagram, and Google track even more personal information than TikTok. According to a Washington Post investigation, TikTok's data collection practices are on par with other major tech giants. In fact, Facebook has been caught storing call logs and text messages from Android users without explicit consent. Also, Facebook has had far more privacy scandals than TikTok. In 2018, the Cambridge Analytica scandal exposed that Facebook improperly shared data from 87 million users without consent. Even now, Meta, Facebook's parent company, tracks user activity across millions of websites through its hidden tracking pixels, something TikTok has also been accused of doing. So why is there so much fear around TikTok? Why are governments around the world so concerned about TikTok? Because the real concern is not just the data itself, but who has access to it. TikTok isn't just another social media app. It's become a global political issue. From the US to India, governments worldwide have raised concerns that TikTok's data could be accessed by the Chinese government. According to cybersecurity expert James Lewis from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, as he puts it, it's not that we know TikTok has done something, it's that distrust of China and awareness of Chinese espionage has increased. China has broad national security laws that require companies and citizens to assist in intelligence work. But here's the problem. What exactly counts as intelligence work? No one knows. The fear is that if China gets access to TikTok's data, they could track individuals and build detailed profiles, identify potential spies or blackmail targets, control what people see, either by censoring content or pushing propaganda to influence elections and public opinion. And even though most TikTok users are just everyday people, Some of them could grow up to be government officials or industry leaders, making their past data a valuable asset for intelligence agencies. So other countries aren't taking any chances. TikTok has already been banned from government devices in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, India. India took the most extreme action, completely banning TikTok in 2020 alongside 58 other Chinese apps due to national security concerns. The government claimed these apps engaged in activities prejudicial to the sovereignty and integrity of India. Even the European Union has started investigations into TikTok's data practices, worried about potential risks. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, has repeatedly denied any connections to the Chinese government. CEO Shu Chu stated under oath that TikTok has never shared U.S. user data with China and would refuse if asked. To ease concerns, TikTok launched Project Texas, a $1.5 billion initiative that would store U.S. user data on American servers controlled by Oracle. However, lawmakers remain skeptical, arguing that ByteDance's Chinese ownership still poses a risk. Because of China's strict data laws, many fear that the Chinese government could force ByteDance to hand over user data, even if there's no public evidence that it has happened yet. This is what makes TikTok different from Meta or Google. If TikTok, and social media in general, collects so much of your personal data, what can you do to protect yourself? The good news is that there are ways you can take to minimize tracking and keep your information safer. First, fix your privacy settings. Most people don't realize that TikTok's default settings expose way more data than necessary. So, here's what you need to change right now. Turn off personalized ads. This stops TikTok from tracking your activity outside the app. Disable location tracking. Unless you want TikTok to know exactly where you are, turn it off. Make your account private. This limits how much of your data gets shared with advertisers. You'll find all these options under Settings, Privacy. Next, control what TikTok can access on your phone. Even if you change your settings in the app, TikTok can still tap into certain phone data. Block access to your contacts and clipboard. TikTok has been caught scanning clipboard data, which could expose passwords and sensitive info. Don't use TikTok's in-app browser. Security experts say it can track your keystrokes. Instead, open links in Safari or Chrome for better privacy. Now, these steps won't make you completely invisible, but they will make it a lot harder for TikTok to track you. And if you want total privacy, well, deleting the app is the only foolproof option. But just don't forget that Facebook and Google are tracking you too. So, is TikTok really a dangerous surveillance tool or just a convenient scapegoat in a political battle? Critics argue that the U.S. government is using the national security excuse to target a foreign company while ignoring the shady practices of American tech giants. After all, if data privacy was the real issue, wouldn't Facebook, Instagram, and Google be under just as much scrutiny? On the other hand, should we really trust a platform owned by a company in China, a country with strict government oversight and surveillance laws? If there's even a 1% chance that TikTok is being used for propaganda or intelligence gathering, is that a risk worth taking? So what do you think? Is TikTok a real threat that should be banned? Or is this just political fear-mongering? Drop your opinion in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on the latest Chinese tech trends and insights, make sure to subscribe to the channel.